makes me want to have a bowl. So, other headlines, guys. So, Frankie Boy. Oh, Frankie Fian is making the headlines today. So, Frank Fian has welcomed the publication of the National Drug and Alcohol Survey by the Health Research Board. So again, he's just coming out, and I think it's pats in the back here for himself, taking claims where there's no need for claims at all. So within some of the findings of the survey, there was a finding that the use of cannabis actually had decreased. So he came out and saying that, like, oh yeah, cannabis use decreased, this is great. Do you know what it decreased from? It decreased from 6.4 down to 5.9. Or 6.5, sorry, down to 5.9. So a 0.6% decrease. It's not this statistically significant in relation to the number of people taking this, and to the variance of the people taking it too, based upon the last population. Again, it's a slight difference. It's definitely not statistically significant at all, like in order to be kind of saying like, oh, we've seen a decrease in cannabis use. It's not at all. You can look at the amount of cannabis being seized out there. Come on, it's not what we're seeing out there in our communities. Like the use of cannabis is certainly not decreasing by any means. And to make a claim off the back of a survey, and on such a small change as well, is it's rather disingenuous, Frankie Boy. But Frank isn't the most honest of politicians, really, is he? There was an interesting question asked within the survey, and it asked the survey participants who were addicted to drugs and how they were perceived. And the most common response in the survey was that the drug addicts viewed themselves as a patient more than a criminal. So there was almost a 50% of the survey respondents who viewed themselves as a drug addict would have seen themselves as somebody who needed care, as a patient, rather than a criminal. Or also somebody who might be self-medicating, so again, fitting a patient rather than a criminal. Only less than 9% of those actually said that they view themselves as a criminal. So again, that's definitely something that needs to be acted upon. And Frank Fian has made a claim, that what was his comment there on the health-led? He goes, I am committed to a health-led approach to drug use. The Department of Health is leading on the implementation of the health diversion program for individuals found in possession of drugs for personal use, which will offer compassion, not punishment, to people who use drugs. I look forward to the commencement of the health diversion program in 2021. That's a lot of BS. The health diversion program is in no way useful at all to a person who is addicted to drugs, because for it to be beneficial to them, they need to be diverted straight away from their drug use on the first time being caught. Because if they get caught the second time, well, they're getting a caution in the second time in this diversion program. And the third time they get caught, well, no, sorry, you're going back to the judge then at that time. But as one of the kind of an ex-drug addict, James Leonard, pointed out, he was like, I could get caught with heroin 3 times in a day, or he goes, I could get caught with my drugs 3 times in a day, because that's the life of an addict. The guard catches you on the street, he takes your drugs off you, and you're back on the street then, and the guard is gone. Well, you're just going to go get more drugs now, and he could get caught with them, and he going to do the same thing again, because that's how easy it was to get drugs. You don't even need cash half of the time to get it. And as a person addicted to a substance, then that's a very, very vulnerable place to be left in. So for Frank to be claiming that he's taking a health-led approach to drug use, Frank, would you please come forward and provide what evidence that you've used to base this approach on? Where is the evidence? Because all of the evidence that I've seen to date has shown that the prohibition of drugs is counterproductive to health-led approaches to drug use in our society. It diverts people into the hands of criminals rather than the hands of professionals who can care and provide protection for these people. So Frank, sorry, buddy, man, you're a langer. Like, you really need to kind of take a proper, honest look at this, because it's not. It's completely disingenuous. Your approach here, it's anti-health. That's exactly what it is. If I have to go get my cannabis, if I have to go get my MDMA or my magic mushrooms or whatever drug of choice it might be, again, illegal drug use there, like, whatever illegal drug I have to get, I'm at the mercy of a criminal, I suppose, at that point, who could sell me anything, Go down, buy a bag of magic mushrooms, and you come back and you got some shiitakes, like, and while that's not too dangerous, like, you could also come back, and if you're not none the wiser, like, you could come back with some poisonous mushrooms too. Like, you just don't know what the chances are out there. That's just one example. We could look at pills, which is a much more common example where people are getting ripped off, because a lot of people don't get ripped off around mushrooms, really. But when it comes to pills and stuff, man, the danger is serious there, like. And this is their health-led approach then, from the HSE. I'm just going to pop this up on screen. This is going around there above on Facebook, one of their sponsored ads. So, like, this is their health-led approach. But can you guys tell me, what are you learning from this? Like, where is the harm reduction in this? Which one is super strength? High strength equals high risk. Like, what? This is our money being used for this kind of messaging. How does this help a young person? Okay, you're some 17, 18, 19-year-old about to go off to Electric Picnic there in September. What? How is this helping them at all? Like, where's the value for money in this at all? And there's somebody getting paid money to do this, to create this bloody image, and to go around and spout this bloody nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Now, in fairness, you go over to the drugs.ie and stuff, they do have some somewhat useful information up there in terms of harm reduction. But this, like, man, what in the name of God are we doing? We're spending money on what? Stupid. I just don't understand it at all. Somebody was paid to create this image, and they sponsored it. This popped up on my Facebook this morning. And I was just like, I'm capturing this because that was a sponsored ad, and the little message then to it, you click the link, you're brought to a thing, and it's like, oh yeah, know your dose, take half a pill, to go low, start slow, go slow. Why isn't that in the main part of the image? Why isn't the harm reduction message in the image? In terms of effectiveness of delivery of the message, like, this tells me very little. This is something that any drug user knows anyway, There was other findings of that survey then as well that was released. It was overall the use of illegal drugs has remained at the similar level to the recorded use in 2014-2015 survey, but an increase has been seen, however, in the use of cocaine and ecstasy. And Frank had some comments then to add in on that. He goes, I am pleased the increase in the use of ecstasy underlines the need for effective harm reduction measures which make our nighttime economy a safer place. The Department of Health has provided funding to the HSE to develop a national harm reduction campaign to raise awareness of the risks associated with drug use, which will be publicly available later this year. And again, this is part of that money spent by the HSE, our money. Irish people's money, or sorry, not Irish people, or the citizens of Ireland's money, the taxpayers' money. So it's ridiculous that this is what goes on out there, when in fact, like, Electric Picnic is going on there now later this year. There's somewhat of a return to nightlife now at the moment. Like, in light of this recent kind of finding of the survey, why isn't there more availability to drug users to test their drugs out there in society? Why? Why are we paying for these stupid posters advertising drug dealers pills for them, and instead of using our money to go away and hire people who could go out there and onto the streets of Cork, set up a mobile drug testing lab? It's not too hard. Have a look at what we view drug testing, mobile drug consumption lab or room. But again, this very same thing could be set up for a mobile drug testing lab, where you're out there, you're going out for a few pints, you have a bag of coke, and there's a lab over there. You go over, there's an amnesty in the area. There's going to be an assurance that there'll be no guards in the area who are going to stop and search you when you approach or leave the van and take your drug. And buddy, when it comes to the two health-led approaches to drug use, you're ignoring the drug users out there who are trying to engage with you on a daily bloody basis, Frank. Come on, man. You're not like, you're a waste of taxpayers' money, Frank. Sorry, buddy, but you are. Like, get off my screen. I'm sick of fucking looking at you with your stupid smile, man.